Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Looney, and today was one of those days where the market doesn't just dip, it collapses. We saw brutal red across the board, tech, crypto, everything sort of wiped out. My portfolio down 8%. Some of my biggest positions like SoFi and Riot fell off a cliff or got slammed, as well as crypto bled out. Now, before we get into this video, quick shout out to the Discord. It is free to join, and I also offer a premium membership for $8 a month, and you get access to one-on-one coaching, trade callouts. I have an option selling course. I do giveaways and more. You can check it out. All the links are down in the description. But in this video, I'm going to break down what happened today, why it happened, and I'm actually going to give a cool update on Michael Burry and his move that sort of spooked people, and overall how I'm positioning for the future. So SPY, NASDAQ was all pretty down, was down pretty significant. SPY being down 1.7%, NASDAQ down 2%, Dow down 18%, and the VIX spiked up 14%. Tech and crypto were also hit pretty significant. So this wasn't like a slow bleed. This was fast, quick, and for some emotional. Now, a quick thing is the mention of the Michael Burry. If you guys don't know him, he is the famous guy who shorted the housing market back in 2008, and he's always sort of been a bearish investor. So he actually came out today saying that he closed his hedge fund, the Sion Asset Management, and he basically, the way he described it was that he wasn't able to figure out what the market was doing, and he didn't feel comfortable being invested in this sort of market, and that he's moved on. So pretty interesting to see. He was shorting AI, like he was shorting NVIDIA and Palantir. I don't know if he's still doing that or not, but since he came out with that news, it has been working. We've seen that dip. I'm down 7%. I'm sure NVIDIA and Palantir was hit pretty hard. Let's actually look at Palantir real quick. On the week, down 9%. So I'm sure his shorts are doing just fine unless he closed them already. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. The government just opened back up, and you would think that actually would help. But unfortunately, that actually was like a sold the news event because they weren't able to provide some important data. And that data is important for the December rate cut odds. And those are actually dropping as well. They dropped to around 50% for them to cut 25 basis points. I still have money on it. I don't know if it's going to actually hit, but about a 50% chance it does end up cutting down 25 basis points. So very messy data or delayed data coming from the government being finally open. So let's be real. Today really did hurt. I mean, I'm down 8%. It's one of the worst single day moves I've seen this year. Other than that, I've seen April. April was a pretty significant downturn, but my biggest position, or one of my biggest positions, SoFi, was down or hit hard, and it got slaughtered, as well as the rest of the market. And yeah, I think it was just a momentum play. A lot of the market just kind of was downturn. I do have some covered calls on it, so I was able to hedge in that direction, but not a full hedge. I have a in the money covered call, the $27, and I did just close one for a profit. So although not a good scenario, it's fine. I'm still holding. I own it at $11. So if it goes to $11, I'll buy more. Otherwise, I'm just going to simply hold, do my covered calls, maybe sell some puts or put credit spreads, but overall, not making major moves. And then let's switch over to Riot. Riot's a crypto mining company, and it's sort of shifting, or it might be shifting to a database or data center, sort of like Iron. And this one down 10%. This is one of my biggest positions, or was. And yeah, I'm down almost 10. I do have some covered calls again in this one, so I was able to hedge with that, but we'll see where this ends up going. I have a $16 and an $18 covered call, and I do have a debit spread that is going to expire worthless, is going to be in the red, and I'm going to have to close it for a loss. That's what I meant. You actually wanted to do worthless, I think. Oh, no. When it's a debit spread, you don't want it to expire worthless. You do want it to go a little bit higher than the strike prices. But that's what's going on with Riot, SoFi, as well as the other names. So I'm not going to cover everything, but everything else was pretty much red across the board. You can see up here, Beyond Meat was down 12%. Pretty interesting. I'm actually negative for once, or finally. I haven't been negative since I've opened this trade. I thought $1 was a pretty good entry on Beyond, even though it's sort of a meme play. It's not really like a fundamental play, but just interesting to see that it's actually going under the $2 range. Crypto, Bitcoin is sort of just falling. It's under 100K. That's a big psychological support or resistance now at this point. And I'm curious to see. I mean, in my opinion, it's not looking too great. I'm thinking we're going to see more of this downturn. I don't know if the market's just going to recover without any sort of headline or news. So it's going to be hard for crypto to recover from here. So what am I doing? Because like I said, I'm still slightly bearish, at least for the short term. I'm not really selling. I'm not selling into the fear. I have cash on the sidelines. I've been using this to sell puts, and I have a bunch of puts that are probably going to get assigned. I have Zeta puts that are going to get called away, I believe. So that's actually good. I thought I had a lot more. Let's see which ones I had. Oh yeah, I did. Sorry. I just didn't know they had different expirations. Zeta, not going to get assigned, but Webull, going to get assigned. This one's been a struggle of a hold. I mean, I got this at $11 and now I'm going to get assigned at 10. So I'm dollar cost averaging, but obviously I want to get those down even more. And I'll probably sell covered calls. Mara, not doing so great as well. I do have some leverage plays that I'm going to get assigned. The Core Weave play. Core Weave's struggling, as well pretty much everything. So I'm not like too concerned. HIMS or the leverage ETF of HIMS or just the leverage position of HIMS, I'm probably going to get assigned. But yeah, I'm using the cash to sell puts and just get assigned. Some of them might not, so I might even have more cash. And I'm paying attention to the VIX. The VIX is very important. It tells you where fear is in the market. And it's getting up there. I mean, it's up to 20. 20 isn't super high. I mean, above 30 is when you kind of want to be all in and not have cash and just be fully invested, because that's when massive fear. The VIX doesn't go over 30 too often, but it does. It can go pretty high. It can go to like 80. There really is no limit to where it could go, but it's pretty rare that it goes above 30 and stays there for a while. So when that happens, I'd rather be invested. But am I going all in? Not really. I am selling cash secured puts. Some of these are going to get assigned, some of these not. So I wouldn't say I'm all in, but I still have margin and I haven't used any technically, but who knows, if I get assigned, I might actually dip into my margin. And yeah, we'll see where that goes. But I'm not really chasing hype. I'm just doing my dollar cost average. I'm doing my simple $1, $4 a day in Bitcoin, now $4 a day into crypto and just long-term play. I don't think crypto is like a get-rich-quick thing anymore. I mean, maybe at some point, but I think at this point, it's not really a get-rich-quick. It's just stack up and sort of just hold. So yeah, I'm very curious to see where the VIX ends up going, the Fed commentary. I'm sure we're going to get some more data. I'm not sure entirely what the next data is incoming, but we should be getting a few bit more, and maybe we'll get a little bit confirmation of where this market is heading. And yeah, so far we haven't seen any sort of bottoming signals. There hasn't been any confirmation of a bottom, so this still can continue to trend downwards. And Riot, my biggest position, obviously struggling right now. It is a crypto involved stock. So that's why that one is struggling. And yeah, today was rough. I mean, my portfolio down 8%. I'm sure a lot of others were down a little bit more or a little bit less. And as a long-term investor, this should not concern you. This should be a opportunity. And that doesn't mean to go all in, but really you should be looking at these sort of moments and sort of getting excited and sort of seeing where that opportunity holds. And it can continue to go lower. So that's why I'm saying don't go all in. But yeah, maybe sell some puts, maybe invest a little bit. That's at least what I'm doing. We'll see if that works. Right now, the market is kind of showing bearish in the short term, a lot of bearish movement. But Yeah, a lot of times like this is where long-term investors and just disciplined traders can get an edge. And that's why I like selling puts or selling options because at least if your trade goes against you, you could turn it into shares and then from there sell covered calls. Whereas if you're buying options, if you don't win the trade, you just lose it. It's a realized loss. And yeah, I do mix in some buying options, but it's not a big trade. And if I do it, most of the time it is for like a hedge. But yeah, most of them I'm selling options, about 90% selling options. And I like doing that no matter what the market sort of does or if it's a bearish or bullish market. And I'm just staying calm, sticking to the plan, and I'm positioning for opportunity while everyone is panicking or just promoting fear. And if you found this video helpful, leave a like, comment how red your portfolio was today, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.